up, nation? Welcome to the Wednesday show. Of course, my name's Philip DeFranco, and this show is really just me talking about newsy top stuff and things that matter to me today. And nation, before we jump into the first story of the day, I would like to wish you a happy equal pay day. It's a day we sit back and go, it's great that men and women get paid the same. Oh wait, no they don't. Women still get 77 cents to the male dollar, which I find odd because sandwiches be so expensive. That's rude. I apologize to my two female viewers. But hey, it does kind of transition into the first thing I want to talk about today, which is the epic fail of the day. Those good old Swedes were trying to think of a way to bring awareness to female genital mutilation in Africa. And so obviously the Swedish culture minister was like, what if we had a cake of a black woman where you have to cut off her clitoris? It's symbolic or something. So that, many people would already think, bad idea, but I like cake, turns out to be a much worse idea because this is what the cake looks like. Oh, I forgot to mention that it screams when you cut it, and for some reason the white women cutting it are laughing. And so as you would expect, many people and groups were like, this is not an art installation, it is a racist spectacle. Some even saying that the Swedish culture minister should be fired. She defended her actions by saying that art should be provocative. Also, if you are still offended, don't be angry at me, be angry at the person that made the cake, even though I gave them money to do that. But it does beg the question, is it an epic fail? Well, yes, I think so. I know some people will defend it by saying, yes, art is meant to be provocative, and because it was so provocative, you're talking about it now. But my response to that is, yeah, kind of to a point, but something I said with PETA is that when what you do becomes bigger than the thing that you're trying to bring light to, it's counter-effective. So I guess the main point, what the Swedish type people? And we move on. And from there, let's move on to our what the fuck story of the day, and that is Kim Kardashian wants to be a mayor. Yes, really, mayor of Glendale. If you still don't believe me, here is her exact quote. I decided I'm going to run for the mayor of Glendale. It's going to be in, like, 5 years. Adding the reason that she specifically wants to be the mayor of Glendale is it is essentially like Armenian town, and she's Armenian, if you didn't know. The main obstacle in Kim's way is that she doesn't live in Glendale. So it looks like she's gonna be buying a house, getting residency, and really scary thing if you think, oh, this won't happen. Two current city councilmen of Glendale are backing her. And so obviously my reaction to this is, oh God, why? But let's look at the pros and the cons. So the negatives, I mean, you have no experience, pretty stupid person, and Kardashians really shouldn't hold public office. I just think that's a general thing most normal people could agree upon. But on the positive, she is kind of sort of a good businesswoman, and technically she is more profitable than the state of California. So maybe that's her platform. She's going to fuck our debt away. We just have to find Ray J, or like a billion Ray J impersonators, have her fuck them. We sell the tape, California's out of debt. I'm flip-flopping. Kim Kardashian 2016. Fuck the debt away. I'm sold. And from there we move on to the sexy time story news battle of the day. If you're not familiar with that, yeah, it's because we've never done it before. It's where I share everything sexy I found today, and you vote which is the sexiest. And today it is a battle between the slightly bustier, the slightly more flexible, and the slightly more Asian. Starting with Kelly Brook, who's in the news today because she finally started a behind-the-scenes Tumblr of her life, and it's sexy and busty. Sometimes there are also dudes, so if you're a lady and into six-packs, you're welcome. Or you have Miranda Kerr, who's in the news today because she can do this. That's pretty impressive. Also, remember, she was pregnant. She looked like this, like semi-recently. How is that a thing? But pictures to the non-pregnant version of her, to the pictures of her with a belly, probably just Google fetish sites. You can probably find them there. And for the more Asian, I was originally going to say Misa Campo because she had a gallery, but she's Filipino and Dutch. Actually, we'll stick with that. That's Asian-y enough. Or rather, to even the odds, let's also throw in Amy Faye. She evens it out because she's more Asian but less known. So the main points, 1, you're welcome, gentlemen, and 2, which is the hottest? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if right now you only have one hand available, just, hit the 1, 2, or 3, let me know. That's disgusting, and we move on. And guys, because it can't all be crazy, stupid news, let's move on to our BAMF of the day. And our BAMF of the day today is a 6-year-old boy by the name of Drew Cox, who was born and raised in Texas. And the reason 6-year-old Drew oozes of BAMFitude is he recently found out his father was diagnosed with cancer. His father, Randy Cox, was diagnosed with seminoma, which is typically testicular cancer, but in his case, he has tumors in his chest and all over his body. Now, the good thing is the condition is treatable with chemotherapy, but the bad thing, medical bills. Anyone who lives in America and is also not rich knows medical bills are a bitch. But luckily, Drew said that's when he felt sad and he wanted to do something to help his dad. Adding, he's so important to me. We like to play with each other. Lots of times we like to play games. That's so adorable. Ugh. So Drew did what any 6-year-old would do and came up with a very complicated heist on a Las Vegas casino. But that failed, so he started a lemonade stand outside of his house for 25 cents a glass. Luckily, word spread about this awesome 6-year-old and people came from all over the place. Even more awesomely, they paid way more than 25 cents a glass, one even paying $5,000, and they raised a total of $10,000 to take care of his dad. And that is what makes Drew amazing. In a world filled with suckitude and lamerosity, you have to just go, oh, good thing, talk about it so you don't burn everything to the ground. So the main points: 1, I think I speak for the nation in saying, Drew Cox, you are awesome. And 2, I hope your father gets better so we can start making fun of the fact that his name is Cox and he got a form of testicular cancer. Is it too soon? It's soon. Randy Cox, get better soon so we can make jokes. I love your faces. And we move on. The nation, that brings us to the final story of the day today, coming out of Austin, Texas. And it's the story about an Austin police officer responding to a domestic disturbance call. Essentially what happened was the cop walked up to the house and saw this guy playing frisbee with his dog in the front yard. And I guess the first thing that went off in his head was, oh, obvious first sign that this guy probably just beat up his wife and now he's playing with his dog in the front yard, obviously. So then rather than approaching like a normal police officer, he whips out his gun. The dog starts barking like, hey, who is this crazy person that's screaming at us? The dog's owner is being told by gunpoint by a cop to put his hands up so he cannot restrain his dog, and boom, the cop shoots, dog's dead. Now those are reports from everyone except the police. But the cop's account of it is that he showed up, the dog just tried to attack, he pulled out his gun in retreat and shot. Then saying they profusely apologized to the guy. The owner of the dog, Paxton, said that was just a complete fabrication, and a lot of people are speaking up for both sides, in favor of Paxton and his poor dog, and in favor of the cop. So what I want to do for you, because I obviously have an opinion about this, dashboard footage of the situation was released today. It happens off to the right of the car, so it's mainly just sounds that you have to listen to, and you can judge for yourself.
Hey, show me your hand! Show me your hand! Hey, get the dog! Get back! Get back! Get back!
What did you shoot my dog for?
Why didn't you get your dog when I told you to get your dog?
I didn't know. I just came around the corner. You pulled the gun out and told me to put my hands up. What am I supposed to do?
Okay, but you knew your dog was back there, correct?
I didn't know. I didn't know anybody was here. I was just walking to my truck.
Was your dog not about to attack me?
No, he's just barking. He wouldn't.
Your dog was running straight up to me.
No, he wouldn't have bit you. He wouldn't have.
How do I know that, sir? I don't know your dog.
What are you doing drawing your gun on me? I wasn't armed.
And so personally, after listening to that, I can't help but think it's the cop's fault. He sees the guy, he whips out his weapon, and he starts screaming at him to show his hands. I don't know about you, but when someone has a gun pointed at me, yeah, I do what they say. That goes completely against the idea of being able to restrain your dog. And it's really scary to think how you're not safe outside of your front house from the people that are meant to protect the law. I mean, this guy was just minding his own business. No one even called the cops on him. Literally, this entire situation is because of the police. And obviously people will say what they always say to defend the cops, stuff that I've said before to defend cops in certain situations. You don't understand how scary and life and death their job is. But at the end of the day, you showed up at someone's house incorrectly, pulled a gun on an innocent guy, and shot his dog because he was freaking out that you were screaming at his owner. And it doesn't even matter, but at no point do you hear him say, I'm sorry, I fucking killed your dog. In fact, he's blaming the poor guy who did nothing, as if he forced the cop to pull the trigger. But the main point and your question of the day, do you think the cop was in the wrong? If so, what do you think his punishment should be? Or are you part of the other side? I mean, honestly, I could see it going either way. But nation, let me know in the comments down below. And nation, that brings us to the part of the show where I'll throw something at your face, and today it is a $100 Amazon gift card. Of course, to possibly get pelted in the face with said thing, just leave a comment on this video, possibly about the question of the day. And of course, a big thanks if you clickety-clack the like button, favorite, share this video on Twitter or Facebook, or things and stuff in words. But guys, of course, as always, my name is Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love your face, and I'll see you tomorrow.